Comments format will be standard. Coach Swinney will have some opening comments, then we'll go to questions in the room, and if time permits, we'll go to questions virtually at the end. This press conference is being streamed by Clemson Plus, as well as our partners at The Roar in Fox, Carolina, so we'll ask that you please speak up and enunciate whenever you ask a question so those audiences can hear you. If you're not part of our local Beat Corps, we'll ask that you please identify your name and affiliation prior to asking a question. But, Coach, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Okay. Good morning. Appreciate it, Ross. So excited to get back at it this week. It was a good open date for us and, much needed. We would have definitely had some guys out this past weekend if we would have played. So glad to have everybody, I think at this point ready to go. Obviously, we got a tough Tuesday, Wednesday practice coming up. So hopefully, but at this point going into it, we feel like we're probably in as good a spot as we've been in a while from a health standpoint. So excited about that. And then just, taking some time this past week to obviously do a lot of self-scouting and, just evaluation on everything. And it's really not complicated on what we got to do better. It's really football stuff that's got to get better. And again, good week. I think everybody is in a good space as far as where they are, from a mental standpoint, as far as, hey, this is where we are and this is what we got to go do. We got a chance to play and coach our way out of a hole that we put ourselves in, and everybody understands that. But just a kind of a reset, honestly, on what we want to try to go do starting this week, and that is, do something we haven't done outside of literally just a couple of moments, and that's play together and play complementary football. We talk about it all the time, and we've done that very little, where we're really truly pulling in the same direction. Just proud of the guys and how they responded. Obviously last week was a long week, and I think they handled it well. I've been really pleased with the leadership. And not surprised at all. But again, you always assume things, but until you really see things and get confirmation, you never really truly know. And sometimes you don't get opportunities like we have right now to be in a really adverse situation and kind of see what you're made of and how people going to respond. So I've been really pleased from that standpoint. The guys have really responded the right way, and eager to get back out there and start playing some football and see if we can, again, still not too late for them to be the team that they want to be, and to play together and to play with precision in what they do. And tough challenge this week. Excited about it. It's been a while since we've been up there. I think it was 19 maybe. Was it when we went up there? 2019. Remember, it was Isaiah Simmons maybe and Chad Smith on a 2-point conversion over on the right side. I think it was a tough game. Came down the last play, and I know it'll be a tough game this time. They're a team that's improving. They're a team that is they're 2-2, and I think for them a lot of change. Obviously, change with their staff. Had a bunch of guys come in, January and May, so now they're playing some games. They're starting to figure out who they are. They've had some change at quarterback, a couple different guys there that had been playing. Obviously, 7 got hurt against Central Florida, but they've had an open date as well, so I would be surprised if he doesn't play, but we probably expect both of them to play, and they're very different. So that creates some challenges. From a preparation standpoint, they've got skill outside. They got some kids that can really run. Really, really run. Number 3 is a burner. 1, 8, 9, all those guys, they're doing a good job with them. Really impressed with the backs. 4, Hood's been around for a while, but this kid, June 35, he's been impressive, and he's kind of really come on for them. He's a downhill runner, physical. They're big up front, really big in the trenches. So, a lot of RPOs built into their system, shots, and a lot of play action, what I call climb routes with deep overs, and et cetera. So they do a good job, as far as how they put it together schematically to challenge you. They know what they're doing. But, again, I think they're still kind of growing into their identity of who they're doing it with, because they've had some change at quarterback on a couple of occasions for them. And then over on the defensive side, same thing as the offensive line. They're big, thick guys, strong. You don't see ends usually typically as big as number 8 for them. He's 280 plus pounds. He's a good football player. 9 is got some twitch and skill to him. Thick inside. 2's leading them with explosive plays. Linebacker. And then got some couple of experienced guys in the secondary. They brought number 1 with them from Washington. Coach's son there that was the D coordinator out there. So he's a really good player. So again, schematically, they're mostly a 4 down. We'll jump in and out of some Okie stuff and multiple with their coverages, and kind of week to week type of a game plan deal on who they're playing and what they're seeing. So I think it's a team that's getting better. Again, there's some unknowns with the quarterback that you just don't really know right now. And a lot of times when you have multiple quarterbacks, they can run they're similar and they run the same system, but this is a little different scenario as far as style of play. So I think that presents some challenges. But just excited to get back out there. Excited to get back in the fight and see if we can find a way to win a game. With that, I'll take your questions.
You said you wanted to do some soul searching as a program after the last game. Just how did that go? And do you feel like that process is ongoing, or?
My soul is cleansed. It was a lot of soul searching. You look at everything. Obviously, really disappointing in where we are. And it's just. Truly, you look at everything when things aren't going well, and. The reality of it is it's never too far away from one side or the other. You're not that far away from being on the right side of things, but when you're on the wrong side of things, everything stinks, right? And everything is magnified, and that's kind of where we are. And nobody wants to hear, well, a couple plays here, a couple plays there, and we are what we are, and this is a, but from a big picture standpoint, this is. It's just been a coaching failure, honestly. That's the best way I can say it. We have just failed as coaches. I'm not taking accountability away from the players. They got accountability in this too. You got some guys that got to play better. They're not just on scholarship anymore. Some of these guys are paid a lot of money to perform, and everybody's got accountability. But it's just an absolute coaching failure. That's just, I don't know other way to say it. And I'm not pointing a finger, I'm pointing a thumb. It starts with me, because I hire everybody and I empower everybody and equip everybody. And when players don't play to their potential, to me, that's coaches. That's on us. Like when you have when you don't, because our problems really are football stuff. Big picture, our program is great. Our program is built right. Our program has never been better. When you talk about a program, to me, it does 2 things. One, your program should drive consistency, and your program should, whatever your purpose is, your program should fulfill that. Everybody has their, this is what we're about. And so as you holistically build a program, then does it get the job done? Well, the number one thing is consistency. Well, obviously, we've had 14 great years here in a row. And some people may say, well, how do you say it? Well, we've had 14 great years. We've had some bad moments. We've had some elite years. But we've had 14 great years. 13 of those 10-plus win seasons. 14 great years, 11 championships. And I'm not talking about 14 years ago. I'm talking about as recent as last year. But 11 championships in 14 years. 9 conference titles, 2 national championships. And played for 2 more national championships. And played for another conference title. So the program is driving consistency. That's what the program is doing. That's what it's set up to do. Consistency in everything. And then when you talk about fulfilling the purpose and the program doing that, well, it's doing that. the number one thing in our purpose is graduation, and we lead the nation in that. The second thing is equipping them as men, using, our program to build great men, and we have that in place. We have a bunch of great young people that have been equipped through the program here. But also a part of the program is winning championships. That's a part of the program too, and we've done that. I mean, every signing class in 17 years here has won a championship, except for this year's freshman. Every coordinator that's ever worked here has won a championship, except for Tom Allen. So the program is doing its part. It's built right, organizationally, structurally, processes, procedures, like that stuff. We're in a really good spot. Probably never been better. But from a team standpoint this year, this is a football coaching failure. That's what it is. And it's football stuff. It's not program. It's football stuff. And that, to me, when you have guys that don't play like they're capable of playing, that is a reflection of us as coaches. And again, I'm not excusing the player from it. They got accountability too. But our job, your job as a coach, is to get your guys to play to their potential, and we have failed in that. Just that simple. And so that's why we are where we are, and we haven't gotten it done as coaches. And that starts with me. But it's football stuff. It's not like it's blocking. It's getting off blocks. It's making the critical play at the critical time. It's routine plays. It's routine decision making. It's that stuff, and all of that stuff we can fix. So the good news is we can coach and we can play our way out of it. But we got to be better. It's just, and that's the frustrating thing. Again, program-wise, I don't think we could be better. I mean, what the function of the program is, driving consistency, and fulfilling the purpose, and it's doing it. But this team in this moment, we have failed as coaches.
With the coaching being the problem, have you made any changes in coaching responsibility during the week?
No. We just got to be better. We'll be better. It's not time for that. I mean, we got good people, but we've not done a good job. But we have good people. And again, it's a result business, right? And again, when you're in the outhouse, everything stinks, right? When you're in the penthouse, you still got a pile of crap on the floor, but you just don't notice it, right? It just magnifies things. And we it's on us. That's our job. That's what we get paid to do, is to bring out the best in our players. And we haven't done that. And again, that's pointing the thumb at me. Again, I make the decisions on who runs the rooms. And again, but we got good people and we got good coaches. It's not like they've never been a good coach. We just hadn't got the job done at this point in time in the season.
Do you have any sense of where the failures are then? Is it tone in terms of how you're talking to the players?
It's football stuff. This is football stuff. It's truly football stuff. It's making a third down catch. It is playing your gap. It is the proper angle. It's playing over the top instead of underneath. I mean, it's football stuff that we have to do a better job of. It's really that. It's decision making. The read tells me to give it. I give it. Just doing what we're coaching you to do, and when it's not happening, well, that's on us as coaches. And again, players have accountability too. These sit in middle school, but it starts with us as coaches. And again, the good news is, hey, we got to reset, and we can coach our way out of it. Just like we've coached our way into it.
I guess you just said on the radio show that it's not a drill problem. We're not going to run different drills.
No, it's not. I mean, we do differently. Yeah, we just got every drill we do the same drills everybody in America does. And again, that's the other frustrating thing is we've practiced really well, and it just hasn't shown up on game day consistently. And I think some of it too is you have a team of young people that's been affected by disappointment. They've been affected by failure, been affected by criticism and noise, and you do everything you can to guard against that, but they're young people. And sometimes, that can all of a sudden you're playing tight, you're doing too much, you're trying too hard, and hasn't gone the way you want, and you can get frustrated. So, I mean, they're learning a lot of lessons, through this. They're equipping themselves and learning a lot of lessons that will pay off for them, as they move through this season, as they move through their life. Certainly, young guys on this team, they're learning a lot too, But, I mean, that's the world we live in, and you have to be able to navigate that. But there's no question that they've been affected by that, But that's the reality.
You mentioned on your radio show as well, you got scrimmage last Wednesday.
Yep.
Just curious, is that common during the bye week, or is it just mental struggles?
Yeah, I do. No, I usually will do some live work during the bye week every year. But you're trying to get some guys. It depends too on where you are in your season. Where the bye week fall? How have games gone? Where have you been able to play a lot of people? And so, we haven't been able to play a ton because just nature of our games and how they've gone. So it was a good opportunity to scrimmage some guys who haven't really been able to get in the games much, and then try to evaluate, some of these guys from a live standpoint. So it was good work. Not as much the ones that have, played a lot of snaps. They just played on Saturday, but a lot of the twos and guys that haven't had as many game live reps, that's what we wanted to get done.
How do you evaluate play call? What has to get better there?
It's not good enough anywhere. I mean, we're 1-3, so nothing's good. Nothing's good.
Beyond the record, though, I'm just curious. Specific.
What'd you say?
Beyond just the record, I'm curious. Have you
Well, again, there's been a lot of plays that are there that we haven't made, and that's frustrating as a coach when you watch the tape and you're in position to be successful, but it doesn't happen. Well, still, that's us as coaches. Period. So there's been good play call and there's been bad. I mean, there's always good and bad. But we're 1-3, not good enough.
Will there be any major changes in terms of the depth chart and personnel and even playing time, stuff like that?
I don't think so. Again, I mean, not at this point. I think we're playing our best players, and we got good players. We lost one safety, one linebacker, and one deep tackle. That's it off of defense. We lost one tight end, we lost one running back in Maffa, and we lost one offensive lineman, Marcus Tate. So we've got good players, and we're not playing like we're capable of playing. But you're always evaluating your personnel, and if we need to make changes, we will. That's always something you do. But we got to get these guys playing with the confidence. You got a team that's, again, I think lost some confidence, been affected. Noise is loud, everything's terrible, and we got to coach our way through it. It's our job as coaches.
Justin Williams from The Athletic. You mentioned not changing up drills or anything like that. What about whether it's like team routine or your personal routine? Are you someone that's going to change that up, or do you kind of stick with it?
Yeah, I'm changing underwear. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change underwear. Listen, man, I've been doing this a long time. I believe in what we do. Again, as I said, from a program standpoint, we ain't never been better. Our program things are great. And it's doing what it's supposed to do. This is this season, this team, this moment. It's different every year. Every year is a different challenge, different journey, and what we need to change up is just clean up our execution. If that means we gotta put the bag on your left hand or whatever, then whatever. But it's not any of that. We have a very proven process here. Again. I know y'all don't like to, everybody say, I'm just stating, we've won 10 championships in 10 years. 10. Who's done that? Nobody. 10. 8 titles, league titles, and 2 national championships in the past 10 years. Not 10 years ago, as recent as last year. So it's not broken. It's not. But this team and this issue, we've done a poor job as coaches with this group. Getting them to, and there's a lot. Again, you can maybe you make a couple more plays and you win a game, and the confidence is, there's a lot that goes into it. But that's where we are right now. But as far as not believing in what we do or how we do it, I have total conviction in that. There's no doubt in that. We just got to be better.
Is there anyone you sought advice from, or any source you sought advice from?
Nope. Man upstairs, that's the only advice I need. That's it. God's good all the time, man. All the time. It's easy to stand up there on a national I'm the same coach that has stood on podiums with national championships and confetti flying. And thank you, good Lord, for blessing. I thank him right now. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to the good Lord for right now. God's good all the time. Hey, he's not just good when it goes your way. That's not how this thing works. God is good all the time. So that's the counsel that I seek. So it's not complicated. We're not building rockets around here. This is football. It's football stuff, man. It's playing harder than the opponent. It's getting to the ball. It's creating takeaways. It's ball security. If we just change the turnovers, we're probably 3-1, and don't do anything different. Just the turnovers. We're doing a poor job in that area. It's football stuff. So, but I've sought a lot of counsel from the good Lord, a bunch, and you know what he tells me? Hey, I love you, and you got you right where I want you. Trust me. That's what I do. So my faith is in that, and I know that all things work together. And I just, don't like it. None of us like. We all like it when it goes exactly the way we want and the way we want it, scripted out. But life rarely happens that way. So, but again, I know that God's good all the time, and I'm grateful for the crap too. I'm grateful for this bad moment that we're in. It'll make us better. We'll come out of it better.
You mentioned a lot of the players are now being compensated in ways they haven't before. They're not just on scholarship before. Do you find yourself changing the way that you communicate or coach players with that added professionalism aspect of college football now?
Well, sure. I think that's just a part of it. It's a part of the conversation. It's a part of your process. It's not the process, but it's a part of it. It's another box that you got to check when you're putting everything together. So certainly, stuff you didn't used to have to talk about, you have to talk about, you deal with, and you got to help them. You coach them. You're teaching them. They're learning. To me, it's a great opportunity to even further equip them for life, which we've always done a great job with. So just part of it. There's more pressure on them. There's more criticism on them because people look at them differently too. And that just comes with the territory.
Sarkeesian was hitting on that, I think, yesterday, in light of not just Arch, but he said he watched a lot of players over the weekend that looked like they were feeling the pressure, and he said what he's trying to do is get them to play football, not work football. Does that resonate?
Yeah, absolutely. It's still just a game. And they're all learning because some of these kids are really young, right? And now they got a lot on them. There's a lot on them at a very young age. And so it's definitely a part of, what you have to do as a coach. It's just it's everything. If you're going to be a good coach, you have to be a holistic coach. You can't just be a, guy can teach them good stance and good start. Not in this world. Because they're not pros. They're just not. They're not mature like that. They haven't lived enough life. They haven't. And this is a whole new first time with pros. They've been gone from home. Right? By the time you become a pro, they've been gone from home. They've had a lot of these guys. First time they've been away, and now all of a sudden you add this in. There's certainly, but that's part of it. It just comes with it. You got to learn how to navigate it, and that's what we have to do as coaches to help them. And it's a lot easier when it's going great. Again, when you ain't that far away from being on the right side of things. You're really not. But the reality is you're on the wrong side of it, and it all smells. So you lock up, and but you know what? It's a great opportunity to teach. I said that the other day. To me, there's good in everything. This is life. I mean, this is like, I said, listen, I know y'all, there's people that hate me because I'm the coach at Clemson. There's people who love me because I'm the coach at Clemson. There's people who love me because we win. And then there's people who love me, all right? They just love me. It doesn't matter what my job title is or whatever. And that's also a blessing too, because you know, being 1-3 gives you an opportunity to maybe have some conversations that 4-0 wouldn't give you. It just wouldn't, you know. So you get a chance to. I don't know what you're talking about with Sark, but you get a chance to coach and teach maybe in a way that you don't always get. So we got to take advantage of that. I told the staff that. Hey, this is also. Let's don't miss an opportunity here. You know, like. It might be 20 years from now. One of these guys is going to be speaking at their company, or they're going to be talking to their child, or they're going to be dealing with some situation, and they're going to say, you know what? The best thing ever happened to me was back in college, and let me tell you what I learned. Let me tell you what that taught me. And that's how God works. And so that's what I mean by, you know, something good will come from this. Something. I look back on a lot of bad things that I hated at the time. They turned out to be, I can look back now and say, here's what I learned from that. That stunk, but it made me better. And something good will come from this. But we're getting opportunities as coaches. Like, I've had conversations with these guys, and I've been able to hear their hearts, see their hearts, witness to them in a way that I wouldn't have had if we were 4-0. So, I mean, there's positives. But, hey, we're in a result business. And, you know, we got to find a way to win some games, and that's what our focus is. But I do think we have I always say the soil is fertile in the valley. And we are certainly in the valley of disappointment right now. And we have an opportunity to help nurture and grow these kids into the type of men that we want them to be through challenge, through disappointment. So I see that as part of our role.
Has there been any players in particular whose leadership has impressed or surprised you during this time?
I don't think, not that I would say surprise me, but I have been very impressed by some of these guys. And just like their words. Like, we have what we call the council. And man, if y'all could hear these guys articulate, like, where there ain't no cameras, and it's just, you know, not worried about somebody putting something on social media and, you know, everybody taking clickbait and creating their own whatever that world does. Like, these guys, these are some smart. I told the staff. In fact, I held it up because I get the council notes, and I was like, "This is what gives me hope in our future right here. When you have young people like this, who can think like these guys, who can process like these guys, who can articulate like these guys, in the midst of a really bad situation in our world that we're living in right now, man, it just makes you have hope for our future." I mean, we've got some amazing young men that they're just wired really well, and they can think, and they can. I mean, like we should just publish the council notes. I wouldn't do that, and nobody would want to write it anyway. Because everybody wants something negative. Everybody wants something, you know. I'm sure somebody will say take something I said today and make some negative article about it. Man, we got some great kids. And so I've been able to see their heart in a way that's you don't always get. You don't always get that opportunity. And I've been able to connect with them a little deeper than you don't always get. And we got people who love this place. And but I mean, a kid like Antonio Williams, for example, you know, he was kind of nonchalant and casual. I mean, he and I didn't get along very well his freshman year. He'll be the first one to tell you that. But to see him now, who he is as a man, the leader that he's grown into, his heart, to see him stand up and speak, like, not surprised, but impressed by a lot of these guys. So, you know, everybody's disappointed and all that stuff, but hey, man, it's a long way to go. A lot of ball left. And again, it's been a good open date, good reset. And now we got to go see if we can fix the football stuff, because it's football stuff. It's football stuff, and we can fix that. And that's what we got to try to get done this week.
Coach, what are some things in those council notes that make you so proud of these guys?
Just their words, literally their words. Took me 30 minutes to read it. It was incredible. Their hearts, just how they process their hurt and their disappointment, what their vision forward is. It's amazing. So we have what we call a huddle, and that's everybody that touches our kids. Everybody who's not a coach. Anybody who touches our players, the equipment guy, the trainer, the academic people, the support staff, and Woody runs that. And I've been doing that for 17 years, and the reason I do that is because, staff meetings can get bogged down, and you want to be efficient when you get in your staff meetings. There's lots to do, and sometimes your coaches are busy, and you don't want to take a lot of time in a staff meeting, trying to hit every area of your program. And so we do the huddle notes, and then I get the huddle notes. And sometimes, too, people aren't, like early on, like the academic guy wants to say something bad about the linebacker, and the linebacker coach is looking at me, you say something bad about the linebacker in front of the head coach, I'm going to rip your head off. That's not always a good environment. And I realized that early, you want everybody to really be comfortable to speak in those settings. And so, and again, you can get bogged down. And so, we created this huddle years ago, and I get the huddle notes on Tuesday nights. Huddle meets on Tuesday morning. I get the huddle notes on Tuesday nights, and then I go through. So now everybody can speak freely. I'm not even in the huddle, and so everybody can speak freely. I get all the notes, and then I can go through what the staff needs. They don't, like Ben Boulware doesn't need to know every little thing that, there's just certain things they don't need to worry about. But then there's other times where they need to hear it from me, and it hits different coming from me than maybe somebody else in the program. Hey, we need to keep that freaking locker room clean. And instead of coming from the equipment manager, it's coming from me. So there's just a lot of, and that's how we've always been proactive. We've always, been efficient. But then that group of people, they select what's called the council. And the council is a different layer because they have a different lens, right? The video guy, the academic guy, the manager, they have different lens on how they see the players. And so they select the council. And I meet with the leadership group on Monday and Fridays, our senior leaders, and they select some juniors and sophomores, so always coaching leadership, and then Woody will meet with the council. And so we're just very proactive, and it's just a lot of communication that goes on in our program. And again, that's one of the reasons that, our program's never been better. Our program's doing what it's supposed to do. It's driving consistency, and it's fulfilling the purpose at an incredibly high level. Unbelievable. Every signing class in 17 years has won a championship, except for these freshmen, and they'll have plenty of opportunity. Every coach, every coordinator, except for Tom Allen. So the program's doing what it's supposed to do. And, I know people say, well, you hadn't won in a decade. No, that's just not true. Us, Alabama and Georgia have won 2 national championships in the last decade. They're hard to win. And, but we're in a moment right now where our season has not gone well, and we've got a good team, but we're not playing like a good team. And that's a coaching failure. Period. The end. And that starts with me. And I take complete ownership. And it's my job to fix it. It's my job to fix it, and I will fix it. But we've always fixed whatever. That's what's, again, driven the consistency that we've had. But what we're dealing with right now is truly football stuff. And we can do something about that. And that's what we're going to try to do. And it's not that we haven't been trying. We just haven't got the results. And again, I can, a little bit of a perfect storm, a little bit of a perfect storm. But that's our reality. As I always say, God never says oops. It didn't catch God by surprise. It caught us by surprise, but it didn't catch God by surprise, and we'll get better from it. We'll keep moving, push forward, and we'll give God the glory all the way. We may not win another game. We may win them all, but it's going to be a good story no matter what, because it's going to be God's story, and we'll be better.
With Cade specifically, what are some of those football things that you feel like are
Decision making, ball handling, doing what he's coached to do, eyes on the right things, post snap confirmation, with his reads, ball security. He's turning the ball over. He's got to be better, and he knows that. And then we got to help him too. There's some things that we can do from a play calling standpoint to help him, but there's also some critical plays that are there that we haven't made that are impactful in a moment. And again, you don't want to. Not trying to throw, but we got to do the little thing. But I think that's just a combination of frustration, confidence, disappointment. Disappointment creates doubt, right? Doubt creates a little bit of fear. Okay, but what's stronger than doubt? Belief. What's stronger than fear, and that's faith. And we just got to get these guys back in the right. Frame of mind. And then again, if there's changes you have to make, you make them. But we're playing our best players, and we don't get to ship anybody in. We don't get to run anybody in here on Tuesday and try them out. Like, it's our job as coaches to get these guys playing better. And and again, when your players are not playing to their potential, it's on you as a coach. Not that a coach is perfect. Anybody can have a bad game or things like that. But it's just been too much where we haven't been able. And again, I think part of it too is, again, the guys start pressing, and all they read is negative. All they hear is bad. That's all they get. And again, you have a choice. You can, I drove in listening to Footloose this morning. I don't listen to nothing, but what I want to listen to. Hey, when it's bad, I don't read nothing. I don't listen to nothing. So I don't have to. But these players, it's hard for them to get away from that stuff. And they're human.
Do you embrace the challenge of going up against Coach Belichick and his multi-time,
Yeah.
being a multi-time Super Bowl winning coach?
Yeah, are you kidding me? It's amazing. I never in my lifetime thought I would get an opportunity to coach against Coach Belichick. How cool is that? Guys. Again, you don't get lucky now. 7. How many rings he got? 7 or 8? How many? 8. 6 plus 2. You got 8 rings. This guy's got 8 rings. He's arguably the greatest ever. Certainly at the pro level. But yeah, it's a cool thing. I wish we were 4-0. I'd feel a little better about it, but. Yeah, and I didn't know that. Ross told me that last night. There's 2 cool things I had no idea until last night, and that's, I guess Don was talking about it. Is it's only happened one other time. Was it a championship or multiple? Multiple national championships and Super Bowls. So Bill Walsh and Joe Paterno. So that's kind of a cool thing. Pretty cool. That's a neat thing. And then for me personally, it's just my 300th game at Clemson. I could not believe that. He told me that last night. I could not believe that. Went home and told Kath that. It's like, it's 300 games. It's just amazing to me. It's crazy. I really didn't think I'd be here maybe a year. 300. It's crazy.
What do you make of the coaches being fired within the first month of the season? Is this even becoming more than it's happened before, but it's becoming even more regular now that because of the way the college world is?
Well, in case you forgot, that's how I got the job here. We were 3-3. We were 3-3. Jeff Scott loves to tell the story. I don't know if you ever hear Jeff Scott speak, because that was a crazy day. It's almost October. It was a crazy day. And I'm like, Jeff, you're the receiver coach, and Billy, you're going to go to quarterbacks, and Dooley, you coach the tight ends, and I'm kind of trying to figure this thing out. And I told Jeff, and I met with every coach because I told him what Terry Don said, and I was like, we're probably not going to get the job, but hey, if we do, I'm going to give all you guys an opportunity. and Jeff, you're gonna be my receiver coach. Of course, he's fired up, and he loves to tell the story. He went home that night, and he's sitting with Sarah, and he's all excited, and he's just fired up, and he's like, man, that's what Coach Swinney said, and we're gonna go get this thing. I think we got a chance to get this job. And he said an ESPN ticker went across the ESPN ticker. It said, in the last, however many years, there's been 30 mid-season coaching changes, and 0 out of 30 went on to get the job. So he said that just kind of dampened his enthusiasm, and he probably tells it better than me, but that's his story. And so, I mean, it's just part of it. So, I mean, that was all the way back in 2008. It is what it is, and with the portal and just the world we live in. Yeah, but I hate it. I mean, these are good people, and I reached out to Brent last week, and I mean, Brent is one of the best people, but sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes it just doesn't work. I mean, again, I've said many times, sometimes you do the very best you can, and it just doesn't work. And our life, but it's hard because these are real people and they have families, and this is a job where, there's just I hate that we've normalized as a society just the nastiness that's just been accepted, and how we attack people and just destroy them or try to. It's really sad. So yeah, you hate to see anybody lose their job. And but you also we have a job to do, right? And we all are held accountable for the job we do, all of us. And so we all understand that. There's not a coach in this business that doesn't understand that. But it's still tough. It's a hard thing for anybody to deal with. And everybody says, oh, well, you're going to pay you a bunch of money and all that stuff, and, nobody feel it. But, yeah, but, like coaches coach because this is what they love to do, especially coaches that are, beyond 40. You got into coaching at that time. You didn't get into coaching to make money. You got into coaching because it's really what you love to do. You love to teach and impact lives, and you love the game. And so, you hate to see it. But, again, I know that it is a part of it.
Going back to Bill Belichick, his kind of media persona is grumpy. But you got to spend some time with him, both when he was a head coach and would come here, and then, on the podcast. What did you learn about him? Did you try to pick his brain a little bit?
Yeah, I absolutely. I thought it was an unbelievable opportunity for me because I'd only been around him really 2 other times. One was at Alabama as an assistant. He came in for a pro day or something, and then he came here one of the years when I was a head coach. So I got a chance to kind of meet him and visit with him there, and just like I thought he would be in that moment. But it was more of a professional moment. He's coming in to evaluate my guys, but to have 2 or 3 days together in a very intimate setting where, there's really nobody else. I thought that was great. And then we spent some good amount of one-on-one time together, and then we actually got a chance to visit again at the media day. Just happened to be the same day. So I've talked more to him this year than I have in forever. He sent me a text before the season, wishing me well. But he just is who he is. But he's a really nice man. I know he can, has a persona that he's probably earned, but he's a really nice guy. He's smart. But probably the thing I told Kath that just in the meetings, because I've never been in a meeting with him, I was so impressed with him just with, first of all, he's 74. And I always tell people, we say, oh, he's 74. First of all, passion doesn't know an age. Like you're 74, you can't be passionate about what you do. I think that's just a terrible way to look at things. He's passionate about what he wants to do in life, and good for him. He wants to coach, and he's really good at it. He's passionate about it. Purpose knows no age. There's no age limit on chasing your purpose and fulfilling what you feel like you've been called to do in life. And why should you ever settle to do something that you don't love to do? Now, if there's nowhere for you to do it, then that's it is what it is. But I just was impressed with him because, again, I thought he was very inquisitive. He asked a lot of questions that were very basic questions but he just hadn't been in college. So, and he really wanted to understand. And I think that's one of the reasons he's been very successful. And, I think that's how I've tried to always live. I've always asked a lot of questions. I always want to know why. I've always wanted to know, well, why? And I've always wanted to know, what your why is as a person. What drives you? I know what mine is, and that's what I focus on. And then same thing from a program. We have a why as a program, and that's what drives everything. Doesn't mean we're going to win every game, and doesn't mean every year we're going to win a championship. We've won it 8 out of the last 10 years. We may not win it this year, and that may mean that we're the end of the world and the end of an era at Clemson because we don't win a championship this year. But I don't look at it that way. But I think he's just a really good football coach that loves what he does. And, I wish him all the best except this weekend. I sure would love to. I mean, we need to win a lot worse than he does. We need to win in a big way.
Does a coaching matchup of this magnitude kind of get your juices going, knowing there's another mastermind on the sidelines?
I mean, look, we have great coaches in this league. I have great respect for all these coaches. I really do. But at the end of the day, man, players play. And Coach Belichick would tell you that. He'd say the same thing. Players play. We don't block, we don't tackle, we don't throw and catch. And when your players don't play to their potential, sometimes you're just not good enough. I mean, sometimes that's just the way it is. You're just not good enough. It doesn't mean you're a bad coach. There's some great coaches out there right now that have bad teams. Doesn't mean they're a bad coach. Players play. But absolutely, I mean, anytime you get a chance to coach against the best, I mean, I always look forward to playing Coach Saban. I thought that was what an amazing opportunity. If you're going to win a national championship, well, let's beat the best. And if we get beat by the best. So I've always embraced all those opportunities, and especially, in my career, I mean, I've seen some of the best coaches that have ever coached. I mean, from Coach Bowden to Coach Stoops to Coach Saban, Coach Meyer, on and on and on. I've seen some great coaches in my time. And but it's about the players. It's about the players, and Coach Belichick would say the same thing.
Any questions for Coach virtually? Nope. Anybody else in the room? We have about 5 more minutes.
For the mental aspect, do players utilize a sports psychologist?
Yes. We have a ton of resources available to them from a performance standpoint or just a mental standpoint. Sometimes these are young people, and sometimes there's a lot that goes on not just with a football campus, right? So we have a tremendous amount of resources that are over at Nieri that are available to these guys all the time. And then in addition to that, we've had Milt Lauder, who's been a part of our he's kind of a consultant with us for 17 years. So it's definitely a huge part of it.
You said you didn't want to make any mid-season staff changes and you don't expect any shuffling. So if that's not happening, what does accountability look like for coaches within the program, would you say?
Well, it's that you play the season and you get results, and then you have accountability. I mean, it's daily accountability as far as how we communicate and all that stuff. But you let the chips fall where they are. Go play the games, and if you got to make adjustments, you make them. Again, it's all football stuff, and if we have to fix football stuff, we will. In one way or another, whether it's coaching, personnel, whatever. That's always the case. But man, we got 8 games. We got a long way to go. Why can't we be the hottest team in America? Why not? I mean, there ain't no quit. I mean, we got a long way to go. We just getting October. September was, oh boy, I want to forget that one. Was a rough start, but we got a long way to go. There's a lot of opportunity out there for everybody. So let's go compete our butts off and see if we can win a game and just create a little bit of momentum.
With Tom Allen bringing in new defense, new language and all that, has the learning curve been more pronounced than maybe you thought? Is that a valid thing?
No, I think it's actually been probably simpler than it's ever been.
Anybody else for Coach?
You mentioned that you haven't been back to Chapelville since 2019. Is that something that you've addressed with the group to prepare for playing a stadium that they haven't been in before?
No, not really. I mean, again, they know we got a lot of kids from this area, South Carolina, the Carolinas, Georgia, Virginia, et cetera. So most of these guys have been up there at some point or time in their whether it be in high school or whatever. But no, man, it ain't where we play, it ain't who we play, it ain't when we play, it's how we play. We're just trying to get better at how we play. And if we can get better at that, then we can get better results.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay,
Appreciate you, John.
appreciate it.
Thank you.